Remaining. Burrow to throw for it. He flings it away on fourth down. Aaron Donald got there. Donald takes his helmet off in celebration. And you can build that man's statue out SoFi Stadium right now. The greatest of all time on defense does it in the biggest moment of Super Bowl 56. Rings for the Rams. The Los Angeles Rams are world champions.
That's a great call. And that man was unbelievable. Again, Aaron Donald, before the missed no call that gave Cincy a 17-13 lead in the third, Donald was quiet, no tackles, no sacks. After that, he just took over the game. 4 pressures, 4 tackles, 2 sacks. After the game, he talked with our Diana Rossini about what's next.
I feel amazing. It's a dream come true. I get the experience with the fans, with my teammates, and I got my family with me, so it means the world. This means everything. I'm just in the moment right now. I'm enjoying this with my family. And I'm just living in the moment right now. That's it.
In case you didn't hear about it over the weekend, the reason that this is coming up to some degree is that he hinted that he might retire, particularly if they won the game, that he might retire. He's 30 years old. He is, goes without saying, not starting to decline. He was the best player on the field yesterday. If that was his last game, what do we say about Aaron Donald?
I mean, he's certainly the best defensive player that we've seen in recent years. And he's probably the best football player that we've had in the league, including Tom Brady, including Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. If you look at how good a person is compared to their peers, the things that he does, they're not as sexy as the no-look passes or comeback victories for quarterbacks, but they are more impressive and more difficult, what he does on a down-in and down-out basis.
Build the statue. Exactly what he said. You just saw him right here, that play that he pushed on. He's triple teamed, y'all. He is triple teamed on that. Why did his numbers go up in the second? Because they can't triple team him anymore. They actually gave him some help where he could go show how dominant he was. He closes
That
the
play
game
right
out.
there, the strength on that play.
Yeah, the 2 greatest.
Look at this. Look how strong, strong you have to be
up, man.
to do this. And then he stops his momentum. A whole man
With the right arm.
A whole man is running. He put one arm in front of him with another enormous man on him and stopped him. An entire adult man.
That's why you put 3 of them on him. Because you can't do it with 1 or 2. Put 3 of them on him.
Dan, you made the comment earlier that you have to start putting him in the conversation with the greatest defensive players of all time. Now, I think most people will immediately go to Lawrence Taylor on that. If it's who's the greatest defensive player of all time, I think Lawrence Taylor is usually the default answer on that. You making arguments for Reggie White and Dick Butkus and maybe some other names that would come to mind. He's got to be in there, right?
Absolutely. Aaron Donald is in the conversation for being the greatest defensive player ever.
Yeah.
He is. If he's not 2, he's 1.
Yeah.
I don't think he's 3. I think he's the best defensive player that I've ever seen. For me, the thing that separates him is I don't know if I've ever seen a football player be so physically dominant over the course of a game, over the course of a season, over the course of a career. Like, just so physically dominant. You guys talked about that 3rd and 1 stop. Honestly, in the stadium, it looked like he got the first down by 3 yards. We were like, oh, first down. And then he grabs the guy because there's the hold there. The ability to run quarterback, like, that's a shove. Joe Burrow just gets shoved. Dude, they're kicking the center and the guard that way to him.
Yeah, and he still can't get outside.
And he still gets there because he's so physically dominant. So he's the best defensive player I've ever seen. He's one of the best football players I've ever seen. And I absolutely think now that he's a Super Bowl champion, he is in the conversation for being the best defensive player ever in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Listen, his technique, his fundamentals, and when you go wide, we call it teaching tape. When you break down his teaching tape, it is insane. Like hand placement, hat placement, hip level. If you were to design a defensive player and show how should you play this, because a man of his size and stature should not be able to do this. You are literally 285 pounds against 700 pounds often, and you still have enough strength and force to make these plays. You cannot describe how good he is.
It's not teaching tape because nobody else can do it.
Right.
You show that to another defensive lineman and say,
He'll be like,
do that. Like, what? Do what?
I ain't got it in me, coach.